Hi, this is Dawn Barkley with Insider Travel Report, and I am at the American Marketing Group's 50th anniversary here in Las Vegas, and I am here with Kyle Stewart, who is the director of Scott and Thomas Personalized Travel in Pittsburgh. Thank you for joining me.
My pleasure.
So you have been in the industry for how long?
Just 2 years on the agency side.
So you came in during COVID?
Yes, absolutely.
And how was that?
It was the hardest possible time to build a business, especially in the travel space. But I think, like diamonds are made under pressure. So that's what we've made here.
Brilliant. So you have 4 business degrees. And so I assume that you were very careful about selecting a consortium or an industry group to go with. True?
Absolutely. Yeah, we took a pretty close evaluation. I have a business partner as well, and we really compared a number of different options. And the reason why we actually chose Nest was because they basically offered the flexibility that we needed. There's the affluent traveler at the top, then Nest for home-based, and of course Travel Savers for traditional locations. So that kind of freed us up to be able to serve whichever market and any way the business would take its shape.
Perfect. And now you are one of the rising stars of Nest. And for people who don't know what that is the network of entrepreneurs selling travel, which is like a consortium for home-based agents. So what do you attribute being a rising star to?
We really just found a little bit of a tailwind and rode it. We applied some metrics, some analytics, and found a good opportunity. My business partner talks in sales about, patient persistence, timing, and luck is really all that comes together when you do sales. And so when we look at that, really we were patient with this difficult market. We were persistent. We stayed on top of things. And we had some timing and luck that just came into play that really helped us out. So leaning into that and then knowing that we have the relationship with the suppliers through Nest has been very helpful.
So tell me what life was like as an agent, an independent agent, before and after Nest. How is life different now?
Yeah, so it's just the Wild West out there. Every single one has a different way of working, and frankly, the biggest difference is whenever I need something, I can just give Rosemary a call or Joe to be able to get to the right place quicker. It saves a lot of time. The other thing though is there's higher earnings as being a part of Nest. And that's really important to not only us as we build this business, but also to our concierges who, want to take home more money and are obviously energized by that.
So how is your bottom line different now? What would you say are the top what are the top programs that you are using to achieve the level of productivity that you have, and how has your bottom line soared?
Yeah, so we primarily focus on affluent traveler and the providers within that. To speak to our growth with numbers before and after, it's just incomprehensible how much different it was once we joined Nest. And further, it's really their deep ties to those suppliers because we're new. Right. So it's their deep supplier relationships that have allowed us to really go as high and as far as we want.
Wonderful. So if there was an agent out there who was sort of on the fence and they weren't sure if they wanted to join an industry group or if they weren't sure if they wanted to join Nest or Travel Savers, what would you say would be what they should do to analyze and make a decision?
Yeah, so the reason why we went with Nest is just because of the immense flexibility. And we did evaluate other consortia, and the biggest issue was that they just didn't all have the same, they didn't have all the suppliers, but those that didn't have that extra gear. So when we have somebody come to us that comes from a certain background and wants, a high-end experience, a service-driven experience, we're able to service that client in a way that we wouldn't have been able to with another consortium.
Brilliant. Now, we're at the 50th anniversary of AMG. What are you hoping that AMG comes out with for the next 50 years? What would be helpful to you?
Yeah, I'd love to see some more technology. I'd love to see some integration. Everything that we do is already tracked and followed. And, from hotel reservations to, the timeliness of flights, it would be nice to see, a technology piece come in that really pulled everything together.
Brilliant. And what do you hope to get out of the next 4 days here in Las Vegas with the AMG anniversary celebration?
There's lots of suppliers that I've been able to meet and that I'm looking forward to meeting, but more than anything else, it's just time spent with other people that are doing the same thing, some of them better and some maybe I can help. So just really trying to learn from other people here.
It turns out that he is quite an expert in family travel, and he was talking to me a little bit about it, and I wanted him to tell you about how his daughter has been traveling and his advice for families that travel. So, tell us a little about your daughter and her worldwide explorations.
Sure. So my daughter, Lucy, has been flying with us since she was 8 weeks old. We went to Curacao, and within a year, it was, Dallas to Hong Kong. And she's been within her first 48 months, she'd been to 24 countries. COVID slowed that down a little bit. But, the goal was, if I can be honest, a lot of people said, once you have kids, then it's going to stop. Yeah. And we just take her everywhere we go. So the only places that we don't end up taking her are places that are like Sandals or something like that. And usually if she can't go, we don't go. So it helps us inform our decisions a little bit.
Okay, so why not Sandals?
Oh, just because there's no kids. There's no kids allowed.
Oh, right, because you can go to beaches.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the only real difference that we make in how we travel.
And a lot of cruising or no cruising?
We don't really cruise, but we sell them, and we're going on them soon. So we were kind of late to the cruise party because I come from a background of miles and points, and so that's really focused on airlines and hotels. But we're really excited. We had a great season with Seabourn. Excited to try their product. Trying Royal Caribbean here shortly, so that's new ground for us. But a lot of our customers love cruising. Yeah,
as a child of parents, or at least a mother who hated to fly, I grew up on cruise ships, so I'm very big on cruising with kids. So what advice would you give families that want to travel with their kids but maybe are a little nervous? So
I think the best thing that I can say is that, kids are incredibly malleable. So if you take them, some families have pickier eaters than others, but really, we just never gave our daughter a choice. So if we're in Bangkok and it's, pad thai, we're not making her eat extremely spicy foods, but I bet there's something that we can find, whether it's, a shumai dumpling or chicken on a stick. Certainly we can figure something out. And I think for us, part of what we did was we're just going to make sure that you try all these things. We have a rule. We try everything. You don't have to like it. You don't have to try it again, but you have to try it once. And so with that, she's not afraid to eat off chopsticks or to try something new. Things that I personally wouldn't try, she goes after because she doesn't have that kind of preset mindset. So I would just say, just bring your kids everywhere. Everywhere that you go, bring them to, because they're not too young to have the experiences, and certain elements that they may not be able to remember doesn't mean there won't be an imprint.
Do you do a lot of family travel at your agency?
Yeah, absolutely. We're a good guide for that because we know what they're going through. Everything from, we were Disney annual pass holders personally, so we know all the Disney stuff. Same thing with Universal, right? And so we believe that, we just met so many agencies when we were kind of shopping around for the right model where the agents didn't really travel, and, it kind of broke our hearts. And so we try and make sure that we're out there doing the things. So, I mean, my daughter just the other day wanted to go to Paris. And before that, it was, she loves Bangkok, and we've taken her to Cartagena, Colombia. And, we want her to continue to see all these things and try new things.
And for the agency who's thinking of breaking into family travel, are there any sort of promotions that you would recommend to get the community involved, or to at least grab their interest?
Well, I'm not sure if there are any promotions in particular, but what I would say is there's always, some sort of a kids eat free, kids stay free, kids sail free. I've seen a lot of that from the cruise companies. And a couple years ago, there was even SAS had a kids fly free, and it was up to 8 kids could go with a paid, up to 4 per paid adult, up to 8 per family. So there are always opportunities like that. But also consider, if you're flying Southwest, they have the Companion Pass. That's a great cheat code to essentially be able to bring the kids along without incurring a bunch of additional cost. And for agencies that are looking to crack into it, by focusing on, what's good for the whole family. Honestly, if a hotel takes care of my daughter, they've taken care of me. So one thing that we try and encourage is when we have families that are traveling, we'll let the hotels know, and then it's usually up to them. But we've showed up and had a TP in the middle of the room for our daughter, or a stuffed animal or something like that. It's just enough to show that the hotel's paying attention, and that makes the whole trip.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much. I enjoyed these tips, and I think our listeners will too. And congratulations on being a rising star.
Thank you very much.
I hope you enjoy the next 4 days. This is Dawn Barkley with Insider Travel Report.